in the quietest corners of our minds, there's a question we almost never ask out loud. A question that can make us feel isolated, broken, or confused. It's the question of desire. Why do I feel this way? Why is my drive revving like a supercar one day and completely stalled the next? We've been told a simple story, that our libido is just a biological switch, on or off, high or low. But that story is a lie, a dangerous oversimplification that has caused more anxiety and shame than almost any other. The truth is, your libido isn't a switch. It's the cockpit of a highly advanced jet, and the pilot isn't just your body. The pilot is your mind. Today, we're going to open up the flight manual. We're going to demystify the complex relationship between your brain, your desires, and the one act we're all taught to feel weird about, masturbation. And by the end of this, you won't just understand your own internal wiring better. You'll have a practical toolkit to manage it. This isn't about shame. This is about control. Look, let's be real. The internet is flooded with charlatans selling magic pills and sketchy supplements to fix you. This isn't that. This is the science, made simple. No fluff. We're going to talk about the 3 powerful hormones that secretly run your entire sex drive. Think of them as the fuel, the engine, and the steering of your jet. First up, the undisputed king, testosterone. We hear about it all the time, mostly from guys in gyms trying to sell you something. But what does it actually do? Testosterone is your motivation fuel. It's the hormone that creates the initial spark of desire, the wanting, in both men and women, by the way. Yes, women have and need testosterone for their libido too. When testosterone levels are optimized, the world seems brighter. You have more energy, more confidence, and yes, more interest in sexual activity. It's the raw horsepower. But here's the secret. Things like chronic stress and poor sleep don't just make you tired. They actively kill your testosterone production. That deadline at work, that argument with your partner, your body perceives that as a threat, like you're being chased by a tiger. So it floods your system with cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol and testosterone are like 2 kids on a seesaw. When cortisol is high, testosterone is forced down. Your body is basically saying, we don't have time to think about sex. We're trying not to get eaten. So that feeling of being too stressed for sex, it's not just in your head. It's a real, measurable hormonal battle happening inside you. Now, let's talk about the engine, the pleasure engine. This is run by a neurotransmitter you've definitely heard of, dopamine. Dopamine is the molecule of pursuit. It's the reward chemical that gets released when you anticipate something good. It's the craving for pizza, the thrill of hitting a goal, and the powerful driver behind sexual fantasy and anticipation. It's the reason why the idea of sex can be so powerful. Dopamine is what makes the chase exciting. But here's the modern problem. Our brains are swimming in a sea of cheap, easy dopamine. Social media notifications, sugary foods, endless video feeds, they all provide tiny, unsatisfying hits. Your brain's dopamine receptors can get burned out, like a light bulb that's been left on for too long. This is a state neuroscientists call dopamine downregulation. When this happens, you need a bigger and bigger stimulus to feel the same level of pleasure. Suddenly, the subtle, natural rewards of intimacy can feel, well, boring. This is a crucial point many people miss. A low libido isn't always a lack of testosterone. Sometimes, it's a brain that's been overstimulated by everything except genuine human connection. And that brings us to our third, and perhaps most important, molecule. If testosterone is the fuel and dopamine is the engine, this one is the steering wheel, guiding you towards connection. I'm talking about oxytocin. They call it the cuddle hormone, or the love drug, and for good reason. Oxytocin is all about bonding, trust, and emotional intimacy. It's released during hugs, deep conversation, and of course, during orgasm. It's the chemical that turns a purely physical act into a deeply emotional one. It fosters the feeling of safety and connection that is absolutely essential for a healthy, long-term sex life. You can have all the testosterone and dopamine in the world, but if your relationship lacks trust and emotional safety, your oxytocin system won't fully engage. It's like having a race car with a locked steering wheel. All that power has nowhere to go. Think about it. Testosterone says, I want. Dopamine says, I'm chasing it. And oxytocin says, I feel safe and connected enough to enjoy this. You need all three working in harmony. So, let's pause here. Knowing about this hormonal trio, does it change how you view your own fluctuations in desire? Have you ever noticed how a stressful week at work seems to drain your desire? Or how an argument can kill the mood instantly? That's not a personal failing. That's your biology at work. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. For centuries, this simple act has been shrouded in myth, shame, and frankly, ridiculous misinformation. It'll make you go blind. It'll stunt your growth. It's morally wrong. We've heard it all. Let's cut through the noise with facts. From a purely biological and psychological standpoint, masturbation is not only normal, it's a healthy, functional part of human sexuality. Think of it as a form of sexual maintenance and exploration. It's how you learn about your own body, what you respond to, and what brings you pleasure. This is critical self-knowledge for any healthy sexual relationship. But its connection to mental health is where it gets truly fascinating. Remember our hormonal trio? Masturbation directly interacts with all of them. During arousal and orgasm, your brain is flooded with a powerful cocktail of neurochemicals. You get a huge surge of dopamine, which provides that feeling of pleasure and reward. At the same time, the body releases endorphins, which are your body's natural painkillers and mood elevators. It's why you can feel a sense of calm and well-being afterward. And crucially, you get a release of oxytocin, which promotes feelings of relaxation and contentment. This powerful combination has a direct, measurable effect on your mental state. Studies have shown that masturbation can be an incredibly effective tool for stress reduction. That release of endorphins and oxytocin actively counteracts the flood of cortisol from your daily anxieties. It can also be a powerful sleep aid. The hormonal calm down after orgasm can make it significantly easier for many people to fall asleep. And we already know that quality sleep is one of the biggest drivers of healthy testosterone levels. See how it's all connected? And this is a very important but, like any powerful tool, it's all about how you use it. The conversation can't just be about, is it good or bad? The real question is it serving you, or are you serving it? This is where we have to talk about the potential dark side, specifically its relationship with pornography. Remember our discussion about the dopamine trap? Internet pornography is like a fire hose of supernormal stimuli aimed directly at your brain's dopamine receptors. It presents a level of novelty and intensity that real-life intimacy can rarely match. When the brain gets accustomed to this fire hose, it can begin to down-regulate its dopamine sensitivity. This can lead to a condition known as pornography-induced erectile dysfunction or delayed ejaculation in men. and a decreased ability to achieve orgasm with a partner in both men and women. Essentially, the brain becomes rewired to expect an unrealistic level of stimulation. The natural, subtle, and emotionally connected experience with a real person can start to feel inadequate. This isn't a moral judgment. This is a neurological reality. It's about managing your dopamine system with intention. The key is mindful masturbation. Are you using it as a healthy way to release stress and explore your own body? Or are you using it as a compulsive escape? A way to numb yourself from difficult emotions or boredom, often paired with hours of pornography. The first approach can be a powerful asset to your mental and sexual health. The second can lead to a cycle of dependency that disconnects you from real intimacy and dulls your overall sense of pleasure. So, how do you find the balance? It starts with self-awareness. Ask yourself, after you masturbate, do you feel relaxed and content? Or do you feel a sense of shame, emptiness, or a craving for more? The answer to that question tells you everything you need to know. Let's connect this back to mental health conditions like anxiety and depression. These conditions are often a state of chronic stress and low dopamine. When you're depressed, your testosterone often drops, and your dopamine system is sluggish. This is a direct cause of the low libido that so many people with depression experience. It's a symptom of the illness, not a personal failing. In this state, it can be tempting to use masturbation and porn as a quick, easy way to feel something, to get a brief chemical escape from the fog of depression. While it might provide temporary relief, over-reliance can create a crutch, preventing you from developing healthier coping mechanisms like exercise, social connection, or therapy, which address the root cause of the problem. For anxiety, the story is similar. The act itself can be a fantastic way to release the physical tension and mental stress that comes with anxiety. It's a healthy outlet. The danger, again, lies in compulsion. If it becomes the only way you can cope with anxiety, it can become a behavioral addiction, adding another layer of complexity to your mental health journey. The goal of all this information isn't to give you more things to worry about. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. It's to empower you with knowledge so you can be the Pontius Pilate of your own mind and body. So, let's put it all together into a practical toolkit. What can you do, starting today, to create a healthier relationship with your own desire? First, manage your stress like your libido depends on it, because it does. Prioritize sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours. This is the single most effective, free testosterone booster on the planet. Practice some form of daily stress reduction. This could be a 10-minute walk in the morning, meditation, journaling, or simply listening to music. Anything that lowers your cortisol will help your testosterone recover. Second, be a conscious consumer of dopamine. You don't have to live like a monk, but be mindful of how much cheap dopamine you're consuming. Consider taking breaks from social media. Try to replace passive scrolling with active, rewarding hobbies. When it comes to masturbation, consider experimenting with periods of abstinence from pornography. Focus on your own imagination and physical sensations. This can help resensitize your dopamine system to more natural levels of stimulation. Third, cultivate oxytocin. This is the long-term play. Invest in emotional intimacy. Have deep conversations with your partner. Practice non-sexual touch, like hugging and holding hands. Build trust. A strong emotional bond is the bedrock of a sustainable, passionate sex life. Your libido is not a simple, static thing. It is a dynamic, sensitive dashboard reflecting your overall well-being. It's a signal. When it's low, It's often your body's way of telling you that something else is out of balance. Your stress, your sleep, your nutrition, or your emotional connection. By understanding the interplay of testosterone, dopamine, and oxytocin, and by using tools like masturbation mindfully, you move from being a passenger to being the pilot. You stop asking what's wrong with me, and you start asking what does my system need. This is the ultimate form of self-awareness and self-respect. It's about taking control of your own biology and psychology to build a life that is not just healthier, but more connected, more passionate, and more authentically you. Now that you have the complete flight manual for the chemistry of your own desire, you understand the internal forces at play. But what about the external ones? What about the actual mechanics of attraction and building relationships in a world that feels more disconnected than ever? That's where we're going next. Now that you know the hidden science of your own libido, let's talk about the secrets of modern dating and the psychological triggers that create deep, lasting attraction by watching this next video.